Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you find yourself watching this video. Welcome back to Jesus in the Center, where we will be covering days 27 and 28 of our Bible reading plan, which are our catch-up days. So today, what we're really just going to do is what we're going to do today is do a brief recap of what we've already read in the book of Leviticus, the first 10 chapters, and then we're going to jump ahead and look forward into week 5, where we wrap up the book of Leviticus and we start the book of Numbers. So last week we ended off with Leviticus chapters 1 through 10. In Leviticus chapters 1 through 10, we learned what God wanted the people do when it came to giving the various offerings. So we learned about the peace offering, the guilt offering, the burnt offering, and the sin offering in Leviticus 1 through 10. We also learned about the ordination offering, and we also got to see Aaron and his sons be ordained and the tabernacle be ordained towards the end of those chapters. We also unfortunately see the death of Aaron's two sons, Nadab and Abihu, because they did not follow the laws as required of them to offer incense to the Lord. And so because of this, the Lord struck them down because they treated what was holy as unholy and did not do things in the way that God had prescribed it. So as we get ready to go into week 5 this week of our Bible in a Year reading plan, we will finish up the book of Leviticus. And the book of Leviticus continues on with the rules and regulations that God has set before his people. They discuss the regulations for festivals. They discuss, what is considered clean and unclean to the Israelites, and a few other rules and regulations. Because remember, God's whole plan was to make these people holy and set apart to them, so that people can look and see that they serve a true and living God. And so he wanted his people to be different. He wanted them to be set apart. He wanted them to be holy. So he gave them these rules and regulations and customs to set them apart from the people whose land that they were getting ready to go into and to conquer. And then from there, we get into the book of Numbers. So the book of Numbers is the 4th book and what we refer to as the books of the law of the Old Testament. And so the book of Numbers continues with the Israelites in the wilderness. And the reason why it's called the book of Numbers is because at the very beginning of the book, there is a census taken of the people. And so, yes, you will all get to hear me attempt to read these wonderful names that we find in the Bible. But there is a census taken in the beginning of the people, and there's also a census taken towards the end of the book of Numbers, again, before the people enter into the promised land. So that's where that book gets its name from. It's because there's 2 censuses taken during this book of the Bible. In the book of Numbers, along with the census, we will also learn about a few more of the customary laws that the people of Israel have to follow. And then we get back into learning about what happened to the people of Israel as they were in the wilderness. We will see Moses send out the 12 scouts into the land of Canaan to bring back a report, because remember, God has been telling them to go up and possess the land. And Moses was like, well, Lord, if you're not going to go with me, then, I don't want to go up. So at this point, after Leviticus is over, they have everything that they need to get ready to go into the land. So they send out the 12 spies. We will also learn about the results and the punishment that they suffered because they listened to a bad report from the spies. We will also see some of the other major events that happen. So we have the wandering in the wilderness. We have them rebelling against God. We have the people, Aaron and his sister Miriam, rebelling against Moses. So there is a lot of drama that takes place in the book of Numbers. So it's not all just a list of names and things like that. And it's not all just a list of laws like Leviticus was. So the first half of Numbers is more laws and regulations. And then in the second half, we see what happens to the people of God as they are wandering in the wilderness. All right. So that is the wrap up for our catch up day for this week, for days 27 and 28. Don't forget to download the reflection questions. If you have not had a chance to do those, take a look at them. There are some really good questions this week. Download the reflection questions, kind of reflect on what we've read in week 4 in the book of Exodus and Leviticus, and kind of dig deeper into what we read. I know it's a lot of laws and things like that, but there we can learn something from these laws and regulations that God prescribed to his people. But all right, that is the end of the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so that you can get the notification when we start day 29 of our Bible in a Year reading plan. But all right, have a blessed day. Bye.